Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back. As always, huge massive thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. So I'm coming back today with this Woodland Wonders from the Winter Woodland Luxury Topper collection, and mostly today we're going to be playing with this beautiful box. Okay, so I am going to be doing a bit of a concept-y style card, just because that topper is quite long and thin, so I thought it would suit this quite nicely. So I've got a piece of A4 card. This is just the 300 GSM one, and I'm going to cut that to 9.5 by 6. So we just keep those pieces for later. And put that away for the second while we just get this scored up. And I'm going to bring in my Hunkydory board, and I'm going to score at 2 inches and 3 inches. And then I'm just going to rotate that round and do exactly the same on the other side. And then we can go ahead and just burnish those down nicely. So when this is finished, it should still go in a 6 by 6 envelope. Okay. So and that's how the card is going to stand. Okay, so my system, my computer and my camera decided to have a moment where they weren't speaking to each other, so I'm not sure how much of the last bit it's caught, but I'll just recap. So this is 9.5 by 6, and I've scored at 2 and 3, and then I've just rotated it and did exactly the same on the other side. Okay, so this means it will stand like this, and we've got this panel of 3.5 by 6 in the middle for our topper. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my trimmer and some gold, because obviously there's gold foiling on this kit. Actually, I'll use the 2 at this end here, so I'm just going to cut this at 2 notches under the 2, and then 2 notches under the 6, and that should fit onto that panel quite nicely. And then we'll just repeat that again for the other side. 2 notches under the 2, right, 2 notches under the 6, and that should fit on the other side. And then we want 2 notches under 3.5 by 2 notches under the 6, and then we can pop that to the side. And then that should fit quite nicely onto a centre panel. Okay, so coming to this piece here, so I'm going to start by doing 4 notches under the 2 on that side. So we're just going to have this one piece of brown, and then 4 notches under the 6, and that should fit quite nicely onto there. And then again 4 notches under the 2, and that's going to take us into that light piece. 4 notches under the 6, that should hopefully fit onto the other side. Happy with that. And then if I turn this around, we want 3.25, because we're taking 4 notches off the 3.5. I could go that way, so I keep the brown in. 4 notches under the 6. This should fit onto our centre panel like so. Okay, put those bits to the side, and then we can start to assemble. I want that on that side, and then that on that side, and then we've got our top and things. Okay, so let's get this assembled. So I'm going to be using a lot of my all-purpose glue, just same as usual. As I always say, just be super careful of it with your mirror card, because it can take the finish off if you get it onto that gold. So let me flash at you for just a second. Just give it a good press down, spread that glue out. Sorry about the squeaky noise. And then again with this one, nice press down. Now I haven't picked any decoration to go on here. I'm going to see what it's like at the end. I don't think the card is actually going to need it. I think it's going to be fairly stable without it. But if I think it needs something just to help it stand, I possibly may decorate that. Or I may even create a not normal card base to go on the back for extra support, but we'll see what it's like when it's done. I've seen these type of cards and they do seem to stand, and it did seem to stand when there was nothing on it, so it's just going to be a case of what it's like once we put the topper on, because that can change things, because obviously you're adding weight in places. There we go, so that's that one. I quite like this kit because it's matte-tastic. I do like the matte-tastic finish. I mean, well, I like all of Hunkydory, you know I do, but there is something about a kit that's matte-tastic that just sets it apart. And you do feel like you're working on something different. It's just really pretty, this kit. But not pretty in a girly way, so just... And these could be for boys, girls, anyone really. There we go. So here is where we are up to. It's looking lovely as it is. So I've got a season's greetings from last time. I'm going to pop out Mr. Fox here. And I'm also going to pop out this board. I don't know if I'm going to use it yet, but we can see what it looks like. Put that over to the side. Right, so this is our Mr. Fox in the middle, and I think with this long topper, you've got a couple of card folds that would be perfect for. So you've got your sort of tower cards where you've got the bits cut out. You've got your sort of centre fold like this one. You've got your cutaway cards that would be lovely for, as well as your normal sort of. Your normal sort of square ones, or your not oblong, what am I thinking, rectangular, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, so I'm thinking I do want to break this up a little bit on this side, so I'm just going to put a little mark on there. Let's just scoot you over, Mr. Fox. Bring the trimmer back in super quick. And I've got and there, and I just want to take a teeny bit off the end as well, just to neaten that up. Okay, I think it's just going to bring a bit of foil over to this side as well, so we've got the beautiful foil in here, and then we can bring this over. I'm going flat with this one, so I'm just going to use some tacky glue. And if you didn't want to use your border, a lovely bit of brown or white ribbon there. Could even come in with something with this smoky grey colour, would look beautiful. Okay, so I'm not going to go super high just because I'm not sure how it will affect the balance. So I'm just going to use these Hunkydory. I think they're probably about a 2mm pad. And I'm going to put a nice amount on just to give that a good bit of support. Let's see, how do you feel? Yes, that feels quite nice. And I am, as always, just going to put a bit of tacky glue on the back of these pads just to give them a bit of wiggle time, and also just make sure that they're, even if that foam were to shrink, because all foams do, it's not a Hunkydory thing, it's just the nature of this type of foam. Sometimes, especially in the heat, which is why sometimes why they get super sticky, the glue gets heated up. Like so. And then we just have to decide where we want to put this sentiment. So this is the smaller sentiment, so I was kind of thinking it might be nice to have that going over. I don't think we want it going along. We could possibly come at the top. Kind of gets lost there, but I think if we put it across, okay, so I'm just going to take a tiny little bit of this pad, just cut it off, so I want it to be the same height. I'm just going to put that right on that edge. It's going to be easier than trying to get the pad in the right place on here. So we're going to go like so. I think that's straight. Yeah, that's good. And then we just want some nice little gems. Thinking, let's have a little look. Don't want to go too bling. We've got some little ones on here, so we use these. Okay. So how many have we got of those? We've got 3 of those. So I'm going to pop these 3. One, 2 here. These are the sort of dark ones. These are the same gems I was using on the last cards I made. There. And then I think I'm going to come with three of these little ones up here, and these are the whitish ones. Oops. And a nice line. Okay, and then I think I just want, so we've got 6 at the minute, haven't we? Pop one up here. I think I'm going to go with this grey one. So there are 3 different colours. Oops. And there it is. Quickly caught on my shorts. Oops. Let's put that colour there. Okay. I'm just wondering whether I should put something down there, so let's just see. No, I'm going to leave it as it is. If you wanted to, you could add more gems along there if you wanted to, but all that needs is an insert on the back. It does seem to be standing quite well. It's going to withstand a gentle breeze. If you are at all worried, what you could do is cut a 3.5 or just under 3.5 by 6 card blank and pop that on the inside. And like I say, that should fit into a 6 by 6 envelope, or just slightly bigger because the length is exactly 6. Okay, if you wanted to, like on the previous cards I did also, you could go in and add glitter on here. I'm going to keep this one quite masculine. You know, judging by my nephews, they do not enjoy the glitter at all. Okay, so we'll just pop that one to the side and I'll just get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for the second card, so we've got a piece of this foxy one, which is 8.25 by 5. So I thought I would do a 5 by 5 easel card. So I'm going to bring in a piece of A4 card, same 300 GSM one that I used before. We're just going to cut our card base to 10 by 5. And then if I just grab a spare piece of card, hopefully should be able to cut a piece to 5 by 5 to match. Let's have a little look. Yep, should be fine. So using up the scraps, so that is always good. So while I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and start my mats and layers. So I need 2 pieces of 2 notches. No, I'm not going to do 2. Yeah, I am going to do 2 notches. So no, I'm not. I'm going to do a larger white border. So just check. So we have got 8.25. So I'm going to go to 4.25. That's my math, I think. Let's try that. So 4.25, and it should be 1.25. So they both should be the same. Okay, so what I'm thinking is I've got to make sure that I've got enough card from here. So it's better for me to have a larger white frame around and have my picture central than risk running out of my card. Okay, so the other option would be to use another colour behind that. So I've got a bit on there, so we will be cutting a bit of him down, and hopefully we should be still fine at the top with our border, or at the bottom with our border. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, got some brown card. Let's just see how that looks. Just grab this out. It's more of a burgundy brown. So I think this is brown card that originally came from Creative Crafting World. So, excuse me, that is my chair, not me. Okay, so let's see how that would look behind there. And then onto the white. Yeah, I think that's going to be nice. Okay, so we were at 4 1/4, so I'm going to now go to 4 1/2. So I want 2 4 1/2 squares. So I did plan it and then I changed my mind. So, well, you know what I'm like. Sometimes you do just have to have a little play. Okay. So now we should have, oops, this one onto here. This one's going to lighten that right up, and then that will go onto there. Okay. So these were the 4 1/4. So I want this to go down to 4 and 2 notches, I think, on here. It's just going to take off his ears. So let me just take a tiny bit off the bottom. And then we'll go back to 4 and 2 notches, and 4 and 2 notches, and then we need to bring this to 4 and 2 notches, and we're just under, so I'm going to, not going to cut that yet, I'm going to seize, though we will have to make a cut in that and put our border across, which is going to be our stopper for our easel card, but I'm going to wait to see where I want that stopper to be before I cut it. Okay, so let's pop that one at the top. So I'm going to bring in the scoreboard. Let's start by scoring at 5, so we got our card, and then at 2 1/2, so we can make that little easel. I'm just going to give that a really good burnish down. So I sort of had a plan with the other card on what I was going to do, but I hadn't really come up with anything for this other one. So this is just what we've decided in the last couple of minutes. Alright, so let's start with the bottom piece. So I can just put my all-purpose on there. I will just put a little bit of tacky glue on just to keep those. I don't want it to be moving about too much. And then our gold, and again these are wider borders than I usually do, just to make the best use of that leftover card, and then this is the piece that will end up going on there once we decide where we're going to chop it. Okay, so let me put that to the side before I try and stick that in the wrong place. And then this one, so this needs to be stuck onto here, but I don't want any glue on this top bit, otherwise it's not going to work as an easel card. It's just going to be a super chunky normal card, so just make sure there's absolutely no glue there. And then I'm just going to line this up over the bottom, that good press down. Double checking that glue situation, and hopefully that should go off quite nicely. So now we've got that shape. Okay, so again exactly the same with our layers. So we've got our lovely chocolate brown, and this is quite a thick card. I think it's more than 300 for sure, probably about 350. It would be the perfect weight for making a card blank from. It's been in the drawer for a while. Mum used to buy a lot of Creative Crafting World. That was one of her favourite brands. So I do have quite a few bits of card that they did bring in various places over the house. So yeah, you will occasionally see me bring that in. But if you've got other brown card there, I mean, you may even have, you know, one of the 8x8 little books that maybe has got a pattern in that you prefer to use. Could be anything in there. Okay, so that's where we're at the moment. So I'm thinking it probably, the stopper needs to go about there. So if I cut that way, yeah, if I cut about an inch off that, we should be fine. So let me just check I've got that the right way again. Yeah. So I'm just going to put that up to the inch mark on this side. And we've got our 2 pieces. So this is a handy trick if you've ever not quite got enough card to do or what you're wanting to, and you know, you get so many beautiful borders in there, and it's nice to be able to use them. So I'm going to put there. I'm just going to use tacky string on this bit because it's just too small. So at the moment we've got that little border in the middle. So let's have a look. So we've got this piece which is cut. And we've got the other one which has got a little bit of green on. I think since we've used the browns, I'm going to stick with this one. Just going to make a little nick on there. I'll bring my little ruler in. Where did I put that nick? I see now. Just for quickness. It would be tidier if I did it on the trimmer, but it's fine. Okay. And I'm going to have it that way up, and I'm going to bring it down so pretty much is in the middle there, sort of further down towards the end. And then we want some nice chunky pads. Let's go with this Crafter's Companion strip. Get it off. So. Just cut that off at the end. super hot in here. I think that's why the computer was playing up earlier. It's an old computer, so right, we decided we were going to have it that way, so I just want to come down there, I think, and then that's going to stand quite nicely and proudly on there. So I've also got, for somebody very special, I don't think I really want to cover that up, so I am going to come in the bottom here, and I'm going to come in with a Hunkydory one. These are just 1mm pads, so I'm just going to pop some of these on, just so that it looks a little bit different to the other one. And I don't think you'd want it to be higher. You could go the same height if you wanted. Depends on what pad you've got, really. I mean, I'm quite lucky now that I've got quite a selection at the minute. So I think everybody's got an idea of what sort of height is good for them, or you know, they have a favourite sort of foam pad height, or whether you use the gel. So just get these pads off. So just because I use the small ones, and they're a bit sticky because, like I say, it is super warm. Just give it that. There we go. So, and we're just going to pop that pretty much in the middle. Somebody very special. And then I think we have to glitter this, and then we'll probably put a couple of gems as well. So let me bring that in. Let's see. So we're going to go along that sort of, there's a sort of snow edge there, so we just bring those in where there seems to be a hint of a sort of snow pile. And he's got some snow on him, so just add some on. And at this point it's going to be, how much do you want to do? You know, it's I don't think there can be too much or too little. It's going to be just how much makes you happy. Let's see, I haven't done any on his back. There we go. And I'm using the Deco Art Glamour Dust, which is my favourite ultra thin sort of glitter. It's super small pieces. Ultra fine, I think, is the word I'm probably looking for. So we'll just cover up Mr. Fox. Right. So let's just pop back into there. And originally I had sort of thought I would probably put the topper on it, the foxy topper, but I don't really think there's any room. So that one there at the bottom, but I don't think it's going to add to it at this point. I think it's just as it is quite nice. So I think we'll stick with the browns. Let's put that there. It is looking a bit blobby at the moment because those are not dry, so but I will give that a brush with my glitter brush in a minute. So I'm just taking the smaller ones of these. They will leave me. There we go. Those there. what. So this is 2, so I'm going to go 2 on here, and these are the sort of lighter grey again. And I think, let's see, do I need to put any more on this? We've got 5 at the moment. It's not straight. No, I'm going to leave it at that. I think that's going to be fine. So hopefully that glitter should have all dried now. So just brush that excess off with this. This is just a cheap makeup brush from the pound shop, or pound shop. Although I don't think there's much in there for £1 these days, but that's by the by. Okay, so these are the 2 cards that we've done with that then. So we've got our lovely sort of pop out centre card, and we've got our easel card, which I think is looking quite nice. Oops, the wrong one, that needs to go on there. It could be either. I like it on both. Well, you've got choices, this is good. So from the kit I've got 2 little bits of card. I've got a rabbit and a fox and a border. So I may do something with that later, but not on video. So this is it for today, I'm afraid. Next time I am going to come back with another one from this kit, which is the fox and the owl. Okay, so we'll come back with, not fox, wolf and owl. We'll come back with that one next time. I don't know if it'll be 2 or 3 cards, but we'll see what we get through, and how hot it is. If it's cooled down a bit, we may be able to get a few more done. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and also, you know, huge thank you for all of your comments and things. You know, I really do appreciate it. I know I say it a lot, it's because I really do appreciate it. But take care of yourselves until next time. Bye bye.